Hello, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. Whack! Don't mind Starlight if you see Starlight doing that through this video. But anyway, I love you so much. And I hope you're getting out in nature like Starlight is. And bring your family, bring your friends. You don't have any friends. Well, you got to be your own best friend first. So yeah. So yes, you got to be your best friend first, and then you can work on, making friends with other people. But anyway, I love you so much, and also don't forget to bring out your furry little friends, like a dog, unless you trained your cats, to walk with you, And also, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight. And that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you could give my videos a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't be afraid, don't be shy. Swing by and say hi to Starlight by leaving Starlight a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And you could share my videos with your family, your friends, a butterfly or a bee. So Starlight has been seeing, I have this little friend out here hanging out with me. I don't know what kind of little bee that is, but bees and butterflies. So yes, you could share my videos with a bee or a butterfly, and you can also check out my playlist and find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So I love you all, and before I start this video, I want to say a big, huge thank you to all of you. Yes, some of you just joined on my YouTube channel. Thank you for coming here and subscribing to my YouTube channel. And this is a place of love and peace, and working on ourselves. This is what it's about. It's becoming that, being that change that you want to see in the world. So it's about getting real, with yourself, and also, having a relationship with God is what my YouTube channel is about. So you could join me whether you have a relationship with God or not, because you can always get some help. So I love all of you, and thank you for all of you who love and support Starlight, or even leave me a message down below, or share my videos. Thank you. Or those of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you. I appreciate all of you, and sending love and peace out to all of you. And today I've had people ask me this question. Somebody asked me this question yesterday or the day before, and the question is how do you know where God wants you to go? Like where are you going? And right now, that is a really good question, where, to be honest with you, right now Starlight's got a clear energy out of herself, and like I just got done reading my Bible, and it's about praying, asking for guidance, and so how does Starlight know? Like, I've traveled from New York, Albany, New York, to Miami, Florida, and it's bug season here. So how do I know what God wants me to do, or where I should go? And my very, 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 very first video was, are you searching for guidance? So if you are new to my YouTube channel, you're going to want to check that video out, because that's when I had to make that video, because I wanted to really have my first video really to God, to say thank you for the information I do get, and how it helps me and guides me. So number one, I'm going to say dreams. Dreams are a way that God uses as far as guiding me and helping me on this journey. And so I do have videos out there, is how to have a dream study. So if you get dreams, if you remember your dreams, we all get dreams, but not all of us remember our dreams. It's so important, like Starlight has to do tonight, is to put a notebook wherever I sleep, so I can actually write my dreams down. And I have been dreaming a lot lately. I'm like all through the night, dreams, 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 So it's so important that, you know, to write your dreams down, and then you can check out one of those videos about how to study for dream journal book or whatever, is to how to interpret dreams. And God will speak to us just like God did in the Bible times. Like I was in, I think it was either Genesis or Exodus, you know, where I'm trying to think all these names. I don't want to say the wrong name, but there was a person in one of those books that was getting dreams, and you know, he ended up later on helping and saving his family because he had these dreams. And at first he didn't know how to interpret that dream, but later on, you know, his family knew, you know, what the dream meant, you know. And so a lot happened to that man, and I'm just, I need to put the name of that person, you know, because I get names mixed up in the Bible. And so yes, is through dreams. So God does use dreams to guide us. And another way is how I get guided is through numbers. Numbers are a way that I get guided, is through like repeated numbers. And so you might see numbers and you might not even think anything of it. So if you see repeated numbers or numbers that stand out, and they're all over, they're everywhere, 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 everywhere. They're all over. You know, they could be on hiking trails, on the road, on your computer, you know, on telephone numbers, billboards, mailboxes, license plate numbers, you know, wherever you see numbers, you know. I've seen numbers in the strangest places. I'm like, wow, look at that. There's a number for me, you know. And there's times that God has guided me on this journal and has done things to get my attention to just see a number. I'm like, what the heck is up with that ice cream truck? You know, and it had a certain song. It's called the Music Box Dancer. And this one ice cream truck was playing that song, and it just parked on the side of the road, and it was really driving me a little bonkers because I grew up with that song. And if you don't know what the Music Box Dancer song is, sorry, I'm like, these bugs are, they love Starlight. They know I'm sweet. So that song is on the on YouTube, the Music Box Dancer, and I grew up with that. And so it was a childhood memory of mine, is hearing that song. But it was driving me like, why is that song? And it's a beautiful song. And God was trying to get my attention, but I didn't know. So you got to really not just, you know, use your eyes to see things, you know. Even you can use your nose, you know. God could speak to you through your nose. Like, imagine that, there's a little guy inside your nose, you know, talking to you. No, but, you know, things that we smell, you know. So really listen to all your senses, you know, what you hear, what you see, what you smell. You know, even your intuition is so important, to pay attention to these things, because those are ways that God will actually guide you on this life journey here. And so with that ice cream truck and that sound, that song just kept on going over and over and over and over and over and over and it again. And it's kind of funny because there was a person that was there at the ice cream truck, and Starlight wasn't paying attention. I seen the truck and I was looking over this way, but the ice cream truck was that way. And I was like, man, this song was up, you know, like I couldn't do that job. Absolutely not. There's no way I could sit in an ice cream truck and hear those songs repeat over and over again. So it takes a special person to be able to do that stuff. Believe me, because I would be like, I'd be flipping out hearing that over and over again. But I finally turned around to look at the ice cream truck. And God's got a sense of humor. There was a person that was standing there talking to the ice cream person and ordering ice cream or whatever, and they had a number on their shirt. That's what I needed. I needed a message from God. God had a message for me, but I had to, you know, God knew, hey, you know, if she hears this song enough, she'll just turn around and she'll get, you know, that message that I'm telling her something, but she's not getting it. You know, sometimes I miss numbers, you know, or don't look them up. And if that happens, God's going to put that number right at you again, because it's really important. The more you see the same number over and over again, it's that important. And that's what the matrix, the people in this matrix have done to us, is they repeat stuff over and over again, like programming you, to brainwash you, to get you to believe that over and over again. And after a while, when you hear something, even in the beginning, if you didn't even believe it, but hearing it over and over and over and over again, after a while, you don't even realize, you start believing it, whether it's true or not. Churches do that. They can do that in a good way or in a negative way. And what am I saying? I know, because there's people out here that love God and they go to church, or they might have a relationship with God. So, and some people get offended by things but you're going to get offended in this life, nobody's going to, sorry about this. Bye, there's somebody going. It's an airport right across the street here. So, we're all going to get offended. So you might as well just, put your seatbelt on, because that we're not always going to like what we hear. Sometimes it's the truth that really stirs people up. So yeah, people do get offended. But like at churches, people can use it for good or evil, negative or positive, or whatever you want to say, is people in the church, whether they are a pastor or preacher or whoever, is, they repeat the same stuff over and over again. Now it could be used, sorry, I'm telling you, these bugs here, is it could be used in a good, positive way to help people, to grow and to get them to believe in themselves. Like I am affirmations is like doing an I am affirmations over and over again, like I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. And you do these for years, doing the I am affirmations, like, I am letting go of fear. I am letting go of fear. I am letting go of fear. Like that bug. So those kind of things are great to reprogram the way you think and the way you look at the world. And it does take time for that to happen. But this is what out there in the world they do, either in church or on the news. They could repeat stuff over and over again, like, sorry, Starlight's got, like, I'm feeling bugs back there, and I don't want them to suck Starlight's blood too hard, is, so at churches, I'll get back to that part, they could use it in a negative way. How could they use it in a you want to hear how they can use it in a negative way? By controlling you, by taking your free will away, by forcing you to go against, your free will. God gave us a free will. So there's people that go to church, and, it's all a test. So it's all a test. You have to, make sure nobody takes your free will away, even if you're at the church, and really we are the church. People that believe in God, that are believers, we are the church. So you might be going to a church and they could be controlling you and brainwashing you, and you might not even be aware of it. In the beginning you heard it, and then every so often they repeat the same stuff and repeat the same stuff and repeat the same stuff. After a while you start believing it, and you don't even realize you're being programmed. But it's used in a negative way, like controlling the people how they should dress, or telling people at the church that, like, you need to be here all the time, and like, because Starlight's been at a church where, the only, reason that you couldn't show up at church is that you had to be almost dying or something. You had to be sick, so then there's it was so bad where there's kids that actually was trying to do something to cause themselves so they could not go to church, by this true story is, there was a kid that I was bringing up, and he would actually purposely stick his finger down his throat to make himself throw up. And I'm like, oh, you're sick. But it really was a way of, or even thinking about taking pills, so, hey, I'm sick, I can't go to church, because the fear was that intense, because they were controlling the people and everything that they did, you know, and after a while, you know, you could believe it. So you got to really be careful with that, is you know, in life. So when God repeats numbers, or you might hear something over and over again, pay attention to those things, you know. Sometimes people will ask God for help, you know, and I've met people, and I've been guilty of this myself. There's times, you know, I'm asking God for guidance, and God, what do you want me to do? And God will put people in your life, send you signs, do all this and that. And God's already been doing God's work, you know, by giving you the message, but we're sitting there still, you know. So that's why God will repeat, you know, and just like bringing up your kids, you know, repeating things over and over again because they need it. So, and God will do that with numbers, is to pop a number at you. And that's how I got into the numbers. It's why am I seeing 1010? It was like all the time, every day, you know, like it's like almost every day. I was like, come on now, how is it possible that, you know, I was going to different houses because I had my own cleaning business. How is it possible that I go in that house, I would show up at 10 o'clock, bring stuff in, you know, because I had all my cleaning supplies in my car, had to, you know, meet the people, bring some stuff in, get to, you know, like a room, 10:10. Next day, go to somebody else's house. I didn't do the same thing every day. You know, I didn't start the same way. I didn't bring the same stuff in. You know, all this stuff. Like, how the heck? 10:10. Even on a day off. I wouldn't even, you know, it was Saturday. Sometimes Starlight worked on Saturdays, but not very many. It's just, I would be home, 10:10, you know, in a living room, on my computer. Go in my bedroom, 10:10 on the alarm clock. What? Go in the kitchen, 10:10. You know, each room, it would say 10:10, you know, all in one morning, like 3 times in one morning, you know, and that's how these numbers popped up, because God uses the archangels to get our attention, and will throw numbers, and you will get messages. And it's not just these numbers like 111, 222, 333, 444, all the way up to, like, then there's like 1010, 1111, which is a really powerful number, 1212, you know. So all these numbers, it could be, you could even see a 9, number 9. I could have a number 9 on my shirt, and, you know, somebody walks by you, and they have a number 9 on their shirt. Well, what does it mean when I see number 9? So it's, don't just pay attention to 111, 222, 333, you know, 1010, 1010, or 1111. Sometimes you might even see 2020. I've seen that recently. What does it mean when I see 2020? How about 0000? You know, and there's a truck out here, and it has a telephone number on it. And so, you know, I seen this truck one day, and I didn't write the number down. And then the next day, you know, I seen the same truck, and a couple days later, well, that's God getting my attention, like, hey, I got a message for you, Starlight, but you're not. And then, you know, because God knows where I'm going to be. God knows where that truck is going to be. So it's amazing how God does this, and using the archangels to get our attention. And that is a way that I get guided. There might be times like right now, God's, you know, letting me know to stop, because God knows that I need to clear out. I need to clear my head, you know, so I can have that time, because I've been having a hard time meditating, because bugs keep on landing on me when I meditate, you know. And so it is so important. If you don't know what to do, you don't have to make any actions right now. As you can just chill out for a bit. And that is what I'm doing right now, because I don't know what God is doing with me right now. God might want me to stay. God might want me, you know, it's like the fork in the road. You know, am I supposed to take a left or a right? So people ask me, how do you know where God wants you to go? God has done this, and then I get messages that will let me know because of the numbers. It was like, you are on the right path, Starlight. And everywhere God has sent me, I have met people and told them about my YouTube channel, and they either helped me out one way and I helped them out, like a energy exchange. You know, sometimes, you know, not sometimes, but many times on this journey, I needed gas money, and I asked for gas money. And there's more bugs. I don't even know what that one was. So Starlight does not want to squish any bugs or have them go in places they don't belong. But yeah, so God has sent me, and when I look at a map, my intuition, by being clear, that means, not spending time with toxic people, being really mindful of the kind of people that you spend time with. Like, are you spending time, meditating? Are you spending time getting out in nature where you're clear and you can actually, God can really connect? What kind of food are you eating? Really, the kind of food really can mess you up as far as really getting that deeper connection with God. So if you're eating a lot of unhealthy food, that is going to stop. God wants us to eat healthy, period. Period. At the end of that, God wants us to eat healthy. When we do when we know, there's things we know that we should be doing, but then we decide, hey, I can do whatever I want. You're right, you can do whatever you want. But you know what I learned on this journey? When I listen to what God wants, when God says, Starlight, you drink too much coffee, now you're dehydrated. It's gonna come and hit you. When you're not doing things that Starlight knew not to drink coffee at night. And Starlight, I did whatever I wanted to do, but then I paid for that later on. Ouch. Yeah, dehydration. So it is so important, what kind of food are you eating? If you're not, God's like, when you're starting to eat that food, and there's that part of us that we, our intuition that says, I know I shouldn't be eating this. I know this is not good for me. My doctor said I should not be eating this. It's online. It says I should not be eating this, but I'm just gonna do whatever I want. Hey, you can. But you know what? God will bless you when you listen to that still small voice inside your head that says, don't eat that. Here, eat this. Don't eat that. Here, eat some vegetables. Here, don't eat that. Eat some fruit. Because it can mess up your body, and God will bless you. God wants to bless you in so many different ways. But if we're doing things because, hey, you ain't telling me what to do, well, then the doors of blessings are closed. When you obey and you do what God wants you to do, like exercise and get out in nature, watch, what kind of people you spend time with. Are you hanging out with people that are not good? Because you might think that has nothing to do with being guided, but it does. Because being around toxic people, or, that can actually distract you. It could change the way you think. Oh, it's a big ass ladybug on my phone right now. So what does it mean when you see a ladybug? So, and that's the bug that landed here, and I didn't want to squish it. I couldn't see if it was a ladybug or not. But so that's a sign right there from the universe. You want to know about how God guides us, is what does it mean when you see a ladybug? It's no different than doing a dream study as far as daytime or nighttime goes. So, I've learned some interesting things as far as life goes, and with nighttime dreaming, or even in your daytime, is, recently somebody ran out of gas. What does it mean when you run out of gas? So it is interesting, in a dream, what does it mean in a dream when you run out of gas? So God has so many different ways to communicate with you, and you got to listen to your intuition. Like when I was saying, looking at a map, I could be looking at the United States, I could be in one state. All right, God, where do you want me to go? And you got to listen. And I've been being guided this whole way like this, is like, okay, my intuition says to go over this way, go all the way, and then I got to figure out, okay, I've been there for a while. Now where does God want me to go? Open up the map on my phone, look, and, and that's why it's so important to be careful of the kind of food you're eating. Make sure you're eating healthy food, the kind of people. If you're around the wrong kind of people and you're around toxic people that complain, what kind of, what kind of energy do they have? That, just like a COVID virus, that will affect you. That will affect you. You can't see the COVID virus, right? Well, just like when you're around a bunch of toxic people and you're spending time with people what are these people doing? They could be out there fornicating. They could be on drugs. They could be going to the bar scene. They could be going to casinos. All those places have energy that's not good. And now you're going to hang out with those people? The ladybug is on Starlight's camera. So yes, it's too funny, I'm telling you. So hey guys, the ladybug is on my phone. I can't see anybody. Hey ladybug. Hey, hey, off the camera. So what does it mean when a ladybug lands on the camera of your phone? I was wondering, why is that? So yes, God speaks to us so many ways, and that's why we need to slow down, you know, and avoid being around toxic people. People that they don't have anything positive to say. Those are toxic people. The people that are bringing you down, not lifting you up. You want to be around like-minded people. People that, you know, not fake people. There's a lot of those around. People that are wearing a mask, you know. So and there's times, be alone with yourself. If you're having a hard time connecting with people that are like-minded, it is best to really get alone with God, with yourself, you know, and that way, you know, and that's why meditation is so important. There's people that go to church that they're totally against meditations, but you're missing out. You are missing out. It clears out all that negativity, and that's why it's so important. That's why right now I can't make up my mind right now, because I gotta clear things out, you know, because I've been around people. You know, you can be around somebody, you know, and they're in your aura space, and then you don't even realize that that has an effect on you, or even going in a store, going in places, you know. So it's so important to protect your energy at all costs, so that way you'll be able to hear from God in a greater way, and God will send you messages. God will tell you, you know, and reveal to you. There's times that I had to hurry up and get out of an area. God was like, get out of here. I'm like, okay, I'm listening. I'm getting out of here. I don't know why, but I'm just getting out of here. I need to go. I need to move, you know. And other times, God's saying, stay. You need to stay here for now. And so I love you so much, and I really hope that helps a lot of you out that has asked me that questions. But there's that ladybug again. Is you know, like this morning, what does it mean when you see a butterfly? What does it mean seeing a ladybug? What does it mean when you see grasshoppers? Because I've seen those on the way. What does it mean when you see a dog? You know, and symbols. Symbols is another way that God can actually speak to us. And I haven't made a video like this in a while, and I decided to do that because there's a lot of new people on my YouTube channel. I really hope this, you gotta pay attention to though. The numbers, they're all over. I got a piece of paper and pen right by my stick of my car inside, between the driver's seat and the, you know, the passenger seat. So it's with me now. I got all these numbers, and then you got to look them up on YouTube. Number meaning, you know, 1010. Number meaning 9. You know, number meaning 9. What does number, you know, and you'll be amazed. It's all through numerology, all broken down. God uses numbers. I love you so much. This is Starlight. You can give this video a thumbs up. That ladybug is right on my screen. You can leave me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And you could share this video with your family, your friends. A ladybug and a grasshopper. Plus you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that's Kathy with a K, Digma Starlight. I love you all. Thank you for being so patient with me. I know now I won't be able to meditate here because there's bugs all over. So anyway, I love you. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and